Mr. Lloyd for 5 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Anderson, you expect this committee to believe that you autocorrected at least 8 times. We have text message evidence that you used the term Randy at least 8 times. And you expect us to believe that you autocorrected 8 times without correcting yourself even once?
That is the truth, yes.
Now, do you think that the Gowie Group would be wondering to themselves who this Randy fellow is if there was no Randy involved in your company? You're sending all these text messages referencing a Randy. Why didn't the Gowie Group ever ask who's this Randy person that we're dealing with if it was an autocorrect?
The Gowie Group has, in our entire relation from I think it was, we started communicating in August of 2022, right up until just this past Friday with the Gowie Group. They were not involved with any communication or linkage to Randy Boissonnault.
And yet it was their understanding that this Randy Boissonnault was a public official. Is this Randy, this other Randy that you're referencing, the person you won't name, are they a public official?
They are not, no.
Okay. Now, you've already admitted to this committee, to the country, that you lied to Global News when you told them that there was a Randy who was the head of logistics. And you expect this committee to believe that you had 8 autocorrects that went uncorrected? Why should we believe you now?
I'm a private citizen. I have nothing to hide or protect. I'm not, I consider Randy Boissonnault a friend, a colleague of mine that I had met a handful of times. We've never hung out publicly. If Randy Boissonnault was involved, I would tell you. He has not been involved since September.
And yet we've been here for 3 months. You could have put this to rest, as my colleague said, quite easily 3 months ago and told us it was an autocorrect. This turmoil that you speak of, that you have gone through, that you do not want to put this unnamed individual through, is entirely a creation of your obfuscation of the facts, of your hiding the identity of this person. If you had said the name of this person a couple of months ago, there would have been no turmoil. So why did you hide this? You said on the phone when you got the call from Global News saying, who's the other Randy? You panicked. What would you have had to panic about if you had nothing to hide? You just said you had nothing to hide. You would tell us. Why didn't you tell Global News then the truth? What did you have to hide? Why did you panic?
Mr. Chairman, it wasn't about panicking about Global News. I had been told and contacted by Global News previously that Global News was working on a story in relation to ongoing litigation with Global Health Imports, that the linkage that between Minister Boissonnault, that he was still listed as a partner within the Alberta filings, that it had not been removed, but it was removed from the federal filings. And based on the litigation that was going on with the Gowie Group, on our advice of counsel, we were instructed not to speak to them.
You panicked, but you could have just easily given the media an easy answer. It's not Randy Boissonnault. It's not anyone named Randy. In fact, it's this other person. But you led us on this merry chase for 3 months, not merry for yourself, unfortunately, but you're the cause of your own misfortune here, sir. With that, I will give my last minute to Mr. Brock. Thank you.
145, Mr. Brock.
Mr. Anderson, you are a self-admitted liar. You lack any credibility whatsoever. It really begs the question, how much did Minister Boissonnault pay you for your silence?
Mr. Chairman,
How much did he pay you?
I have not had no communication with Minister Boissonnault.
You've only had one other partner in your entire operation with GHI and GHS. You've confirmed that is Randy Boissonnault. The word partner in all of these email exchanges was never auto-corrected, was it? Was it?
There was no email communication.
I'm talking text messages. The word partner in text messages was never auto-corrected, was it?
It was not referring to Randy Boissonnault.
You've had unusual contract wins. You've had a half a dozen lawsuits, nearly $8 million in court-ordered debts, civil allegations of fraud, a fire 16 days after at a warehouse by 3 arsonists. Yesterday, we learned you got into business with a Dominican drug dealer. Nobody believes you. No one at this committee believes you. Canadians don't believe you. Fess up. The gig is up. The only other Randy that was auto-corrected, according to you, 9 times was, in fact, Minister Randy Boissonnault. Admit it.
Mr. Chairman, it was not Randy Boissonnault.
Who was it?
As I have said at my opening statement, I am happy to provide the individual's name in question.
Not good enough. Gowie's understanding, according
Thank you.
to their
Thank you, Mr. Brock.
communications with
Mr.
you.
Naqvi, Mr. Brock, time's up.